Good morning, friends. Today we will talk about the basic skills needed for a teacher. It's very important to know the basic skills that a teacher needed at this juncture, especially the 21st century schooling. I call it a kind of a learning agility. A teacher must have certain qualities. What are the qualities a teacher needs? First of all, he should have self-management skills. A teacher must have self-management skills. He should also have proper communication skills. He must be a thinking person. He must have a lot of research orientedness within him. He should have social aspects, social concerns, we can say. So these are the basic things. In each one I will explain to you, especially the self-management. If we start with the first one, the self-management, what are the things involved in self-management of a person? First of all, he must be reflective. A teacher must be reflective. Every day he must reflect over things, of his own attitude, of his own learning, and that makes him a reflective person, The IPP, Ignatian Pedagogical Paradigm, will say there are 4 elements for learning. The first one is the context, the second one is experience, the third one is reflection and action. And then, of course, these things have to be evaluated. So IPP is called context, experience, reflection, action and evaluation. But reflection is a very important thing. A reflection of what? The affective skills. How are you going to influence people? How are you going to inspire people? How are you going to touch and mold the hearts of the pupils, students? That is why you need to have affective skills. And also a person must have a lot of organizational skills. He must be an organized person. Unorganized persons cannot be good teachers. He must have organizational skills. So that is about self-management area. Now we are coming to the communication area. Communication means what? First of all, interactive skills. One-to-one, one-to-many. How are you going to interact? That interactive skill must be there in all our teachers. And also capacity to speak well, the language skill. Whichever language you are communicating through, you must have the capacity and command over the language. So that is another area for a good teacher. Then we come to the third area, which is called a thinking teacher. And what are the thinking teacher's capacity? The 2 areas you must have. One is about he should have a critical thinking attitude. A very, very critical thinking. And also he should have creative thinking. Critical thinking and creative thinking. If you go on the same mode, the same explanation, the same way of teaching, students will not get attracted to or they will not get interested in your class. And that's why many students who disturb the class. The learning styles we have, all of us, I'm sure that you know, the learning styles: auditory, visual and kinesthetic, the basic things, 3. And if you don't appeal to all the 3 things, they will not be able to learn anything in the classroom. That is called a creative teacher, a creative thinking. And the 4th area, as I mentioned already, research area. A teacher cannot be simply giving the same thing without having a proper inquiry, proper research. A scholarly person will have a studied response to the situation. He will not be simply taken away by certain limited ideas put forth by somebody. The good teacher will always reflect and make enough study to find out the authenticity of it. That's called research teacher. Will have a lot of reflections will go through, study will go through. There are 2 areas you need to study. One is the media literacy. Media includes the mass media, the social media, the reading books, etc., the listening to a play. Everything is a media. But then you should have media literacy. Do not believe as it comes to you. You must have the capacity to read in between the lines. That is another quality of a good teacher. And finally, as I mentioned, a teacher must have social qualities, social skills. What are the social skills? collaboration with the people, collaboration with the groups, collaboration with the like-minded groups. This is a very important quality of a teacher. And therefore, if you take it these 5 areas, that is self-management, communication, thinking, research and social skills, a teacher will be a very good teacher. If so, I'll put up a few important points just to recall for a good teacher. Number 1 is a good communicator. A good teacher must be a good communicator. He also must have a risk-taking attitude. Let us try, take a new way, think out of box. Don't simply get into the same rut. Let me make a new way of thinking. That's the quality of teacher. Let me take risk. Let me experiment. It may not be very successful, but let me experiment. Let me try. If you don't try, you will never learn. So that is another quality of a good teacher. And then also, he should be a balanced person. No? Don't carried away by his emotions or success or failure. A man or a woman who is very balanced can be a good teacher. And a teacher must be a good thinker. Develop them. They say no. If you don't use it, it will get rusted. Any iron instrument or if you don't use it, it will become getting rusted. So we are here not to rust ourselves. We should have a real quality of thinking and new ideas to come in and make everything every time a new way. Another good quality of a teacher is a teacher must be a principled teacher. Act upon certain principles, not simply because the majority says this way, I go this way. No. You cannot sit on the fence. You should analyze and take a stand. Conviction must be there in all your actions. That's called a principled teacher. And a good teacher's qualities, another one, he must be an inquirer. There is an appreciative inquiry, a beautiful theory. One who inquire into things, especially positive things, and learn, adapt to new ways. Be flexible, be an inquirer. One who search will get new ideas. Aristotle says, an unexamined life is not worth living. Similarly, if you don't examine a thing comes to you and you don't see the positive and negative aspect of it, I think you will be a failure. And a good teacher must be knowledgeable. He must have enough knowledge so that he will be able to give to his students better knowledge, better reflection. And a teacher's another quality, if all these things taken into consideration, he should be an open-minded person. Open-minded means what? Open-minded means anything new comes. If suppose somebody suggests something new, even from the students, new ideas come, he will accept with both hands. He will accept it, and that is called open-minded teacher. And a teacher must be compassionate and caring. That's one of the qualities of a teacher. Teacher stands in the place of the parents for a student. And therefore, compassionate heart must be shown. If they are in problems, listen carefully. They will come and open up to yourself, and you should be a listening person with a compassionate heart. In Ignatian way, for example, the Jesuit way of teaching, they say a teacher must have one of the principles that is called cura personalis, care of individual. Care of individual. For us, the biggest thing is an individual, the student. We must care because he comes from a different background with a different experience, with his reflections are different. We must understand them. He may be coming from a happy background or a sad background, a sorrowful background. We don't know. You must treat them with a caring attitude. So a teacher must be caring. And finally, a teacher must be reflective about what is going on in the society. what is going on in the country. For example, now we have this terrible thing called coronavirus. This pandemic is spreading. We must be reflecting, make the children to reflect over it. Sometimes that has to be an internal reflection, an inward looking, our own behaviors, our own attitude, our own societal dealings, our own basic attitudes of selfishness, self-centeredness. Everything has to be reflected upon and put back to the children. Let them also reflect and make their assessment. A good teacher must have this ability, this agility to adapt all these things. I'm sure all the teachers will strive to be better teachers, taking up these points. Thank you very much, and God bless you.